Hi everyone, my name is Kat and I'm the in-house LinkedIn trainer. Today we're going to be going through some ways that you can market your business and yourself on LinkedIn, how to optimize your profile and your company page, and some features that you should be utilizing. So this webinar is going to focus mainly on organic ways of marketing, but if you're interested in learning more on LinkedIn analytics, paid ads, and premium features, we will be doing a more in-depth webinar on that as well later on. So with that being said, I'm going to get started with some information on the importance of using LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the largest professional marketing site with 500 million users, at least the last I checked, and 40% of LinkedIn users use the platform daily. The site is growing in usership, and they've been adding many new features and improvement over the last couple years. And that has brought engagement up significantly and added some things that you can really benefit from for your company and for marketing yourself and your brand on LinkedIn. So I'm going to start off the webinar by talking about how you can optimize your LinkedIn company page. Starting with branding and brand recognition, there are two important visuals to be aware of in your LinkedIn company page, those being your logo and the banner image. You'll want to make sure that the branding across all of your social media channels is consistent as far as using the proper logo, messaging, and colors, and make sure that your logo is included in your profile image and that your branding colors and messaging is displayed within the banner image. You can also use your URL, or rather include your URL and central phone number in your banner image and include a call to action, a tagline, or a hashtag as well. In addition to your primary banner image, you can create a banner image to showcase an upcoming event or a product launch, or share your company culture with photos of your team and stuff that's happening around your office. And these can be switched up incrementally when you have these events coming up and when you want to showcase something new. So when it comes to your company description, it should speak directly to your prospects. And while it is perfectly acceptable practice to just transfer the About section from your website over to your company page, if you want to improve upon that and stand apart from your competition, use this opportunity to tell your story and speak directly to your page visitors. You can include some pain points experienced by your ideal clients, address how you can mend them, and speak to your company's values and expertise in this section as well. So Google will also preview up to 156 characters of your page texts. So it's important to make sure that your description leads with some powerful keywords that best describe your business, your expertise, and your industry focus in this section. As far as the content on your company page updates are where a lot of people do tend to drop the ball. So just like with other social platforms, these need to be posted at least once, but ideally 2 to 3 times per week, with content that's going to draw people to your page. And this will help keep your page relevant. You can post directly to followers of your page, or you can even sponsor your content so that it's seen by people who are not yet following your page. And a great idea for content strategy on LinkedIn is to post something that will keep people coming back to your page, like a series of 5 to 10 tips or tools, maybe a series highlighting your team members or your clients, some weekly productivity hacks, countdowns to top 10s, or any other topics that you might find fit your brand. It's a great way to link things back to your website to try and increase your traffic. You can make a special event and post quarterly or on a seasonal basis. So posting a series will encourage people to come back to see your next post. And it's also going to allow them to scroll through the past posts and see more of your content that they might not have been aware of otherwise. So make sure that in all of your content on LinkedIn that you're being helpful and informative, and try not to be salesy. At least 80% of the content that you're posting should be informative, and no more than 20% should be selling. And that's not to say that you need to have 20% of posts on your LinkedIn company page selling a product or service. It just means that you really shouldn't go over that, because that'll tend to turn people off, and then they're not going to want to come back to your page to see future updates that you have on there. LinkedIn is supposed to be about sharing expertise and learning and advice, and really just having a lot of informative posts rather than people trying to sell you things. So that's a way that you can set yourself apart as well and encourage people to continue to come back to your company page to see future updates and to learn more about what they want to hear. So moving a little bit on to building your following on your LinkedIn company page, this is something that a lot of people do have difficulty with. And some of the Ways that you can do this. Firstly, you need to make sure that you're posting the relevant content on your page so that people are satisfied with it and they continue to return, and they'll actually want to follow your page to see your future updates. You also want to do some cross promotion. So you can start by sharing your LinkedIn company page on some of your other platforms where you may have a lot of followers, such as Facebook, Twitter, anywhere like that. You'll also want to add an icon to your email signature, to your website, and business cards so that people are aware that your page does exist. And you'll also want to share the page to your personal profiles as well so that your connections can come over and like the page and follow it and see your updates there too. Another great way is to send out an email blast to invite people directly to follow your page and to encourage your team of employees to regularly share and engage with the content that's on your page so that people in their circles can see it as well. You can also invite your own friends and family to the page and ask them to do the same as far as sharing out your content or inviting people that they think might be interested in seeing your content. If you want to invest in building your following, there's also the option to use sponsored content. But aside from that, there really is no quick and easy trick to getting organic followers to your page. You really just have to be consistent and invest a lot of time and resources into it. It's very important on your company page to engage with your community. Make sure that if somebody comments, you reply to them right away. People are way more inclined to continue to participate with your page if you're engaging with them. So keep an eye on your analytics as well and your notifications and see how people are responding to your content so that you can adjust it accordingly. Make your updates short and sweet, encourage some click-throughs, include a simple title or an interesting image and a lead in that lets readers know what the story is about without giving it all away. And don't be afraid to ask questions, evoke people to engage with your content, but also get some feedback on what type of content they want to see. So you can post a question on your company page to ask somebody what type of advice they're looking for within your industry, or to ask somebody what they struggle with most. And generally, people will respond to those types of questions, and that increases your engagement, but it also gives you some insight into what you should do for your future posts. Any page that engages with its users tends to get a lot more engagement in return. If people are replying to your comments or your posts rather and not getting any reply from you, they're not going to want to come back and do that again. So you have to make sure that you are giving them a lot of your attention in that sense. So moving on a little bit from your company page optimization, I just want to talk a little bit about showcase pages. It is a similar feature to your company page, but it's also different in a lot of ways. So showcase pages enable you to promote certain products or services to specific customer segments. And these pages are used as an extension of your LinkedIn company page. So for example, a company like Adobe may want to have a showcase page for their Creative Cloud services to promote their specific software, and they do have that enabled. And you can treat your showcase page as a mini LinkedIn company page for that specific product. You can create up to 10 of them for your company page, but if you do require more, you can reach out to LinkedIn support and request more, and they will help you with that. And once these showcase pages are created, they're going to be shown on your company page right below your About section. So it's a way to get people to go from your company page where there might be a lot of information with only a little bit of it that's targeted towards them, and they have an option now to go to a showcase page where you might be sharing something that's more relevant to them specifically. So in the example of the Adobe page, they have their Creative Cloud page that's targeted mostly towards photographers and designers and that type of thing. So by having them come over to that showcase page, the content that they're going to be seeing will be more tailored to them, so they're more likely to visit that page more often and less likely to unfollow it if they're seeing content that doesn't apply to them like they might on the main page. One of the unique things about showcase pages is that they have unique names. So similar to a URL, there's no duplicate in that sense. So it allows you to be very specialized and also to not get your showcase pages confused with another company's showcase page. So in the website area of your showcase page, you can include a link to the corresponding product or service page of your website, and you can experiment with your content there by pinning maybe a status update to the top of your page, engaging what kind of response is received from your followers. Creating, growing, and maintaining these company pages and showcase pages takes a lot of time and resources and a lot of commitment. So you can't simply set them and forget them. You do need to follow up and do a lot with those pages to make them successful. And if you wanted to create a showcase page for your company, you can simply navigate to your LinkedIn company page, open up the admin tools on the top right corner, and it'll bring down a drop-down menu where you can then create that page. So here's just an example of where you might find a showcase page. And again, just using Adobe as an example, this is their main company page. And if you just scroll down a little bit, it showcases or shows you their showcase pages there rather. So if you were to click on the Adobe Creative Cloud, it would bring you over here. And you'll notice this does look very similar to a company page, but it's just more focused. Now moving on to optimizing your personal LinkedIn profile. One of the most important things you can do when you're optimizing your LinkedIn profile, and one of the first things you should do before you do anything else, and one of the things that people often overlook, is to make sure that what you're putting out there is visible to everybody. So be sure that your posts are public. And if they're not public, people are unable to share them onto their pages. They're not going to show up in any Google searches unless you are a connection of that person. So these options to change the privacy of your posts can be found and changed in the section Edit Public Profile and URL. And under there, you would just click Edit Visibility, and you can actually customize this section to be specific about who you want to see your updates. But if you're using your profile for any marketing purposes, I would recommend just having it public. Next, you're going to want to develop a headline that goes beyond just your job title on your profile. Your LinkedIn profile headline defaults automatically to your current title and company, but you can edit that in your profile edit section. So try to make it compelling and unique. This will be the first thing that people see about you and in your specialty industry focuses and what you want to be known for. You can also add some past projects to your profile, accomplishments, awards, some volunteer experience, any courses that you may have completed, and anything that can really enrich your profile and show that you're experienced and that you have a well-rounded list of skills. You're going to want to use a professional headshot on LinkedIn if at all possible. A lot of statistics show that profiles with photos, and more specifically professional headshots, get a drastically increased number of views. And if you don't have a photo on your profile, people are way less likely to want to connect with you. If you have a selfie posted on your profile, it just kind of tarnishes your image of being a professional. So if you can hire somebody to take a professional headshot, that's a really great investment to make in general for your business, but especially on your LinkedIn profile so that people perceive you as being a professional. So you're also going to want to make sure that your profile is properly linked to your company page. And that way, when people navigate to your company page and click on the list of employees that's shown there, your name is going to show up on that list. This is a great way for people to find you from your company page, and also a great way for them to find your company page from your personal profile. Additionally, if someone is searching for you specifically on LinkedIn, which a lot of people do use the platform to find prospects, they might type in your name as well as your company name to try and narrow the search down a little bit and make sure that they're getting the right person. So having that set up properly will assist them in finding you and connecting with you and building that relationship. So another thing that you're going to want to update is your summary on your profile. And this is where you have really the most freedom to make a great impression on your followers, a great first impression. You'll want to begin your LinkedIn summary with a simple statement about what you do. Utilize some keywords that you want to be associated with, and add a short synopsis of your experience. Emphasize how your experience and accomplishments in your field are valuable to your prospective clients. And you'll also want to include some sort of a call to action at the end of your summary. So if you've managed to capture their interests, you can then guide them towards what to do next. And this can be a link to a 15-minute phone call booking on your website, a link to your website main page, your contact page, a page that you want to highlight, or even just an invitation to connect outside of the platform. Make sure that your experience and your information sections on your profile are current so that your followers are up to date on what you're doing and what you have as your most recent information up there for them to see. If you've changed jobs recently, make sure that you archive an old job so that when someone's searching for somebody to connect with from a specific company, they'll know whether or not you are still working there and what your duties are. If you get a promotion, make sure to update that immediately. This will notify your followers, but it'll also make sure, again, that that information is up to date when people do go to search for you. If you find that your profile is looking a little bit bare, you can also try to add some new sections to highlight publications, certifications, patents, honors, awards, any important test scores that you might have had, languages that you speak, and really whatever else you think might appeal to your followers and the position you as an expert in your field, and really just highlight some of that information that people might not otherwise know about you that's going to set you apart from your competitors. So similarly to a resume, you're going to want to put stuff on there that is really going to draw their attention in and stuff that they're going to remember you by. So moving on to endorsements and recommendations, there's generally a lot of confusion on the differences between these two features on LinkedIn, but they are very vastly different. In endorsements, basically you can include some skills on your LinkedIn profile, and this is a great way to showcase your abilities to other members. Skills can include anything from softwares that you've mastered, although don't make it basic softwares like Word programs and email and that kind of thing. It's kind of implied that you would already have knowledge of that. So anything specialized you can list as a skill. You can also list practices in the workplace that you possess, really anything that can testify to your abilities, anything that you're an expert of that you want people to be aware of. And getting other people to endorse your skills will really allow you to provide some social proof on how you manage them, and it gives your claims some weight. So if you are well versed in a certain software, getting people that you work with or people that you've had as clients to endorse that will just prove to your readers and your followers and potential followers that you're not just making an empty claim, that people are actually backing that up and saying, yes, this person is an expert in this software, or yes, they do possess this skill. It's up to your connections to give you your endorsements, but you can solicit them by asking through a direct message or by endorsing some of the skills that your connections have on their profiles as well. And that'll encourage them to return the favor and to come over to your profile and in turn endorse some of your skills too. I would definitely suggest asking your colleagues and your team members to endorse you for some of your skills. People are way more inclined to take the time to do something if you approach them about it. And your skills can be managed from the edit profile section. So that's where you can add them and you can remove them if they're no longer relevant and that type of thing. So moving on from endorsements, recommendations are, as I said, vastly different, but they fall into the same category as just basically giving some social proof that you are somebody that we would want to hire or that we would want to connect with or who's an expert in your field. So recommendations are different than endorsements, but they can be coupled with them to further show proof of your expertise. And you can request a recommendation formally from a colleague or a client on LinkedIn by navigating to their profile, selecting the More icon next to their name, and then selecting Request a Recommendation. And you can add a note in there as well. And once your recommendation has come back from them, you can even request revisions. And you also, of course, always get the option to approve these recommendations before they're listed to your LinkedIn profile. So recently, LinkedIn has made some improvements on their mobile app. And having the ability really to access your LinkedIn profile remotely is a huge benefit. The faster you're responding to messages, the less opportunities you're going to miss from connections and potential prospects and potential connections. So LinkedIn does have a pretty great mobile app that allows you to do most of what you can do from the desktop site with just a few exceptions. And the major things that are missing from the LinkedIn mobile app are the analytics and the ability to use LinkedIn Publisher feature. Additionally, some features available in LinkedIn require downloading additional apps to use. So for example, LinkedIn Groups, Sales Navigator, LinkedIn Learning, and the Recruiter feature, these all have their own separate apps to download. So if you are going to download all of the apps, just a recommendation to make a folder on your phone and store them all there, at least until they're able to come up with one app that provides you access to everything in place of these. So one thing, however, that you do have exclusive access to from the app that you're not able to access from your desktop is the ability to upload videos directly to LinkedIn. And this is a fairly recent development that was rolled out, I believe, August of 2017, and one that not everybody knows about or is taking advantage of. So it's a really great time to start using it to set your content apart. So just go to a little more detail on LinkedIn video. The benefits to using LinkedIn video, as opposed to just posting a link to YouTube or to your website where you have a video already uploaded, is that LinkedIn, just like most other social platforms, exclusively favors content that does not take you outside of LinkedIn. They want you to stay inside of the app or the platform so that they can make more money from advertisements, they can benefit from premium users and advertise for that service, and generally just keep you from leaving the site altogether. They really want you to, spend as much time as you can on there. And as a result, they do favor content that is native to LinkedIn, like LinkedIn publisher posts as opposed to blog posts, and photos uploaded directly to the site as opposed to photo links, and of course, native LinkedIn video rather than something that's stored on another platform. So it's no secret, obviously, that video content on social media platforms does get more engagement and is shared more often than other content. So I'll just go into a little bit of detail on how best to use LinkedIn video, especially for marketing and business purposes. So simply to access the feature, first of all, as I mentioned before, you do have to be using the mobile app, and it is pretty straightforward. So on the home page of the app in the top right corner, you'll see two icons, and one of them is a camera and the other is a video icon. And if you don't see both of these icons, you may just need to update your app. If you haven't updated it recently, you probably won't have this feature available, so just make sure that it is always up to date. And if you click on either of these icons, and be sure that you've given the app access to your camera as well, a page will open up with the options to either take a new photo, take a video, or upload something that's already been recorded that would come from your camera roll or one of your albums. So when posting your videos, make sure that you're adding links to the description, tag people if you mention them, and use hashtags if it is relevant. So if you're attending an event and they have a specific hashtag that they use, do include that in your video, and that way other people at that event can find that video, and then, of course, if they've met you there, they'll want to connect with you as well. You can also include some talking points in the description to encourage people to watch, so just to let them know what the video is about. And again, without giving away too much, just sort of give them a little brief overview of it. Videos, of course, as well. 3 minutes is ideal for a video, just so that you're not losing attention from somebody, but it's also long enough that you have time to go through and make it valuable for them. So some uses of LinkedIn video. You can pre-record a professional video and have it edited as well. And this can be used to showcase your products or services or share a client testimonial, just that kind of thing. Something that you may have hired somebody to come to your office and do. You can just download these from your website, or from another platform, and then upload the content to LinkedIn from there. And if you're using this type of video, try to use a video that has burned in closed captioning, since they do play muted by default, and there's no option to add captions on LinkedIn. As far as a video for event coverage, a great use of this feature is to upload real-time event coverage to your LinkedIn profile. So if you're speaking at an event and you'd like to show your followers maybe a little snippet of that, or if you just want to let people know that you're attending, that you're there, maybe start a conversation with other contacts that may be at the same event, show people around with the video and upload it immediately. So you can tag other users when you post the video again, or add relevant hashtags that are specific to that event so that your content does show up when people search for these hashtags. If you want to use a video to share more about yourself, you can upload maybe a short biography, tell your story. People really love getting an inside look into you and your company, and video is a great way to tell that story. So you can even go around the office and introduce some of your team members. Make sure to tag them in your description when you upload the video so they're notified, and they have the option to then share it with their circles as well. Another use might be posting some productivity hacks, some tips, some question and answers, and content that, again, like we said before, would be reoccurring and valuable to your followers to keep them coming back for more and make them more inclined to click on your future videos. Another feature, of course, that you can use is posting some sort of an interview. So if you were to interview a client or maybe a staff member, share their experience with your company and give some social proof to your followers as well. There's really infinite ways to utilize video. So just keep in mind what your viewers may want to see. Always make sure that you're being professional, but don't be afraid to also be personable and share some content that showcases your company culture. You are allowed to have fun while you're maintaining a professional image. Just make sure that you have a plan for your video so it doesn't end up kind of going off the rails and losing focus on what you wanted to cover. Another use as well, is short form video. So this can be 15 seconds or less, just to show a really quick hack or a product. So maybe if you're doing something every Tuesday where you share, I don't know, a technology tip or something to that effect, or a life hack, just posting that consistently and making it a very brief video will encourage people to click on it again. So moving on past the video section, LinkedIn groups. So you want to be sure to find and join active LinkedIn groups that match your location or your industry and use them really as an opportunity to share valuable content and to network with other professionals. As far as content goes, try to make sure that you're not selling in these groups or you really won't see a lot of activity. And if you find a need that isn't already fulfilled by a LinkedIn group, you can even try creating a group yourself. Just know again, like we mentioned before about the company pages, that it is a lot of work to build membership, and this isn't the type of thing that you can really set and forget. So you're going to want to send out maybe an email blast inviting people to the group, invite all of your contacts that might find it useful, and really make sure that people are getting a lot of value out of what's posted there. That's really important because LinkedIn groups especially, people don't want to see people selling in there. It's mainly just to position yourself as an expert in your field, keep your name on people's minds, and build some really valuable relationships that you can then turn into maybe prospects or get some referrals from those people down the line. So I'm just briefly going to touch on analytics here. You really want to pay close attention to the data that you're gathering from LinkedIn and adjust your posting schedule and content accordingly. So if you're noticing that posts that you're putting out with certain types of images are getting a lot more feedback than other ones, or if something being posted at 9 a.m. is getting a much better response than something that's being posted at 5 p.m. And this does vary based on your industry, so there's no magic formula. But you want to adjust your posting schedule and your content for the future based off of those analytics. And I would definitely suggest checking in weekly and monthly to see how your posts are performing. There's a lot of different things that influence whether or not people are engaging with a post or whether or not they're seeing it. And that's data that you can gather over a longer period of time, even a few months, even a year, maybe sometimes, just to find out what your audience really is responding to best. And also to make sure that the people that you're targeting are the right people that you want to target and they're in your market, people that might be interested in your services. If you're getting 100 people who are responding to a post, but none of them are people that you want to connect with, then you are going to want to adjust your content. Another way to test effectiveness, of course, is to pin certain posts to the top of your page. And that way, when they go to your page, it's the first thing they're going to see. So you could have a certain post pinned to the top of your page for a month and examine the analytics afterwards and see, okay, 300 people saw this post, but only one person engaged with it. So what can I change about that to make it better? Use the data from your analytics to establish a baseline target and then create some short-term and some long-term goals to work towards as far as getting engagement and getting people to share your posts or getting them to contact you. So impressions, interactions, and engagement. Those are three, I think, of the main aspects of your analytics. Impressions are the number of times each update is shown to LinkedIn members. So this is similar to the Facebook reach. This is just how many people have scrolled through their newsfeed or gone to your page and seen this post. It doesn't mean they've read it. It doesn't mean they've clicked on it. It just means that it has shown up somewhere in their feed. Your clicks are the number of people who click on your content, your company name, or your logo. This does not include interactions with your posts. Your interactions, however, are the number of times people have liked your post, how many comments have been left, and how many times it's been shared. And then your engagement is a percentage, and this percentage shows the number of interactions plus the number of clicks and followers acquired divided by the number of impressions. So this is basically a number that shows you the percentage of people who have engaged with your content in some way based on how many people it's been shown to. So some of the benefits of using LinkedIn analytics for your company. The key to engaging your LinkedIn audience is knowing as much as you can about them. In the LinkedIn Analytics tab, there is an option to see the age of your followers or the people who are engaging, their gender, their location, what mobile or desktop platform they're using to see your content, all that kind of stuff. And having that information will really help you not only to adjust the time you're posting, where you're posting to, all that type of thing, but also the content itself. So you can replicate your success by viewing analytics from specific posts to see how they stand up against other methods and adjust future posts, like I mentioned before. So check for some similarities in the content, the topics, and what call to action was used. And again, the example, if a certain type of image is really being viewed a lot and you're getting a lot of response from that, you're going to want to use that, an image that's similar to that in nature for future posts. If you have a call to action for people to click on your website and you find nobody's clicking on your website, you're going to want to adjust that call to action as well to get them more interested. Maybe by offering them a free download of an ebook or a discount if they come over to your website right away, or just evoking some emotion from them or letting them know that there's a special offer or something very valuable to them that they'll find by clicking on your website. A great thing about LinkedIn Analytics is that you can really visualize your data. They have a various amount of charts and graphs that allow you to see everything in more than just numbers. And to find out what your demographic is responding to your content and target them via LinkedIn ads, analytics are great to find out exactly who you're hitting now and who you're not hitting, more importantly, so that if you are doing a LinkedIn ad, you're going to know who you want to target with that ad. And here's just a quick view. This page obviously isn't set up yet, but this is just what you might find in a company page as far as your analytics go. So it's going to show you the likes that you've gained in the last 30 days, comments, shares, and follows. And that's sort of just an overview of everything that's happened on your page. And this is the part where you can choose what you want your graph to display. So with whether you want to see impressions, clicks, shares, followers, that social engagement percentage, you can see all of that here displayed in a graph. And obviously this is empty again, but this is going to show your most recent posts and how people have responded to them. And this section is very, very useful as far as targeting your future content. So under update name, it'll just show maybe the title of the post that you shared. It'll show the date that it was shared, how many followers you acquired while that post was up, impressions, clicks, engagement, all of those things that we talked about before. It's all going to show that stuff sort of in a more easy to navigate area. And you can sort those by which post performed the best or which one maybe needed some help and that type of thing as well. So thank you very much for tuning in to this webinar. If you, again, are looking to learn more about specifics to do with LinkedIn ads, any of the premium features and that type of content, we are going to be doing another webinar that goes more in depth to those features.